Hey guys, welcome to our Wednesday webinar finding series with Do Hard Money. My name is Ellen Gardner and I am going to be talking to you today about probate property. So hopefully that's why you're here. Otherwise, it will be a very nice chat today on something you may not know, hopefully. So again, my name is Ellen Gardner, and just by way of introduction, I have been in real estate investing since 2002. I have been a coach since about 2003 and a national speaker, speaking on investing all over the nation. I also have been a licensed agent in a couple of states. I've done lots of different kinds of investing in multiple states. I've done everything from flipping to buying and holding, having some rentals, doing some creative financing. I've done lots of different things in real estate and I love it. And will probably always have my hand in something real estate related. So hopefully this will give you some good action steps to be able to get some probate properties going, because it really is actionable. All these steps will be actionable. You'll be able to take these home and work on them, do something with them. So with that, then let's go ahead and start our probate series here. With three of the topics that we'll be talking about today are going to be what a probate attorney does, first off, how can we get these probate leads, and what do we do with them once we have them? How do we contact the personal representatives or the attorneys? So first off, why do we want to work with probates? The baby boomer generation here is growing rapidly at retirees at about 10,000 a day. That's people retiring, 10,000 people retiring a day, and they stand to be inheriting up to $15 trillion over the next 20 years. And that's an inheritance value of about $176,000. They also control 70% of the net worth of the nation. So there are two things, and since we're problem solvers, two things that we can do for these people. For one, what we can do is we can utilize them in being private money lenders, in being partners, joint venturing with us, and helping them supplement their retirement as well. But also, in some instances, their family members may need to be put in places like care facilities, nursing facilities, assisted living facilities. And a lot of the family members at that point, they really don't know what to be doing with property, especially if somebody passes away. And so this is where we get to come in and really help. That's the whole point in investing. You will find that investing is a relationship career, basically. That is what we do, is we build relationships, because everything that you do with investing, we need to network. We need to be working with other people. So we want to be able to help others through this point in time that might be difficult for them. So that's one of the reasons that we want to help with probate, and how it's going to work for us. Now, why is it that probate attorneys, what is their purpose? So a probate attorney is basically there to pay debts and to clear the way for assets to be divided and given, basically dispersed to the beneficiaries. That is what their job is. And in doing that, they have the responsibility in some instances of the property. What are they going to do with the property? So us as investors, we get to go in and work with these attorneys, let them know that we're interested in helping their clients. In a lot of the situations, we can go in to the attorney's office and let them know who we are, what we're doing, and how we can help their clients. Now, we can, in some situations, go ahead and purchase a property before it's even out of probate. So that means that we can purchase the property before anybody else even knows about it. So that is why we want to have those relationships with these attorneys. So what we would do is we would set up a contract for these properties through the attorney for the property. The attorney then takes that to the courts. The courts will then accept it and approve it. Once it's been accepted and approved, then you're able to close on that property. And you would do that through the attorney themselves as well. Now, one of the things that I've learned in this industry, and probate attorney Paul Black out of the Atlanta area has also suggested that we BRT, I like to call it BRT, build relationships of trust. Mr. Black suggests that we contact attorneys, take them to coffee, take them to lunch. If you can get in on a free consultation, that would be perfect in their office. But if we send letters to attorneys, they're not going to get them. And if they do, they like to make it to the receptacle bins before they make it to their eyes. So we want them to know who we are. And in doing that, then they can vet you. They can interview you, and you can interview them as well. So this is a two-way street. We want to be able to find out from them what it is their process is. How is the probate process? How long is that process? What are some of the tips and tricks that they have found? For instance, being able to talk with the probate attorney gives you the opportunity for them to really get to know who you are and how you can help their clients. Now, let's say that you live in a small town, there's one probate attorney, but you may have options of other attorneys outside of your area, within a half hour or so. So let's say we come up with 5 different probate attorneys that we meet with, or we take to coffee and talk to them about what we're doing. How can we help their clients? Let's say each one of those attorneys has about 20 properties on a monthly basis that they work with, or even 10. So let's say they each have 10 properties that they work with on a monthly basis. Even if each one of those attorneys gave you 1 property or 5 properties to work on, you still have quite a few properties to be working on with the attorney's help. So don't disregard that this may be seeming, super simple or whatnot, because there is effort that we have to put into it, but it can be very beneficial. And because the competition in this market is very low, the demand for us in this position is high. So keep that in mind as you're thinking about how we're going to work with these attorneys, okay? So working with the attorneys, again, we want to BRT, take them to coffee, take them muffin baskets, get in with them for a consultation, and get to know them. Let them get to know you and why you're there, okay? So that is going to be one way of getting some leads. The next way is going to be a little bit more, we're hoofing it a little. Sometimes we have to do pen to pad and really do some work on this, but like I said, it's very worth it. So one of the things that you can do, or another thing that you can do, is Google it. I know, Google, right? What you can do is Google the county and the state with the word probate, and the circuit court will come up with the recorder or the circuit court circuit court clerk will come up, and that will be the person that we want to contact. Sometimes this information is online, actually, so you can get it right off your computer. But a lot of the time, like I said, this is where the pen meets the pad. We need to hoof it down to the courthouse or the recorder's office and be able to talk with these people. Now, I like to take in little treats every once in a while, if it's allowed, just to thank them for taking the time with me, because I'm going to go into this office and I'm going to ask them where their probate information is. What I'm looking for on the probate information is, first off, I'm looking for the PR, the personal representative on this paperwork. The next thing, of course, I'm going to look for the attorney and the attorney's information. And then I'm going to be able to get that information and utilize it in the ways that we've talked about. But with the personal representative, I'm going to be able to send more letters to them, or I'm going to make phone calls to them. I'm going to be able to contact the heirs directly with that information. So don't let the courthouse scare you. It's very cohesive, I guess you could say, and it is an easy system to use with help. And once you get that system down, then you can just go in and do it on your own. Otherwise, continue to look online, because there are a lot of places that have that information online now. All right, so there are a couple of other options too. If you do not want to do all this on your own, there are a couple of places that do the leads for you, and one place actually will do the calling. They will set up the appointments for the attorney. They will do that for you. However, this is your business. This is your machine, and you're a cog in that machine. And so I like to say, mind your business, because I suggest doing everything for yourself at least the first couple of times, because then you know how it works. You know how you want your system to work, so that if something in your machine starts breaking down, you know where that's at and you know how to fix it. But if it is something that once you know what you're doing, how to do it, you just don't have the time, but you want to be able to keep your hand in that arena, then send it to somebody else. However, these leads will be leads that you pay for, and that's okay if that's the way you want your machine to run. That's absolutely doable. So there are the attorneys that we can talk to. There are the heirs that we can get a hold of. We can get that information from the county courthouse and from online and from the attorneys themselves. And now, what it is that we want to kind of talk about a little bit is getting a hold of the heirs. So let's say that somebody has a family member in a assisted living facility. In order to pay for that facility, they need to be able to sell that property. And most of these properties are in disrepair. They have a lot of stuff in them, and the family members just don't even know where to start, because it's going to take money to repair a house. It's going to take the time and the effort to clear the house out. They're not interested in keeping a piece of property that they have to pay taxes on and that they have to take care of. So one of the best ways of being able to get a hold of the heirs is by letters. In marketing specifically, they have what's called a seven touch system, I guess, that's been proven that people have to have some kind of connection or contact with you 7 times before they're going to actually make a move. So in doing that, with knowing that, we want to send at least 2 to 3 letters that are unique up front to the heirs and to the personal representative. And one thing that you will find, if you stay on for the rest of this webinar, at the end, I'm going to give you a little webinar gift, which is the letters that I send out to these heirs. It's a free gift, and you'll get that at the end of the webinar. And again, it's something that I send out, so everything has been basically done for you already. Now, with all that information, one of the best ways of getting property is through out-of-state executors specifically. Out-of-state executors means that it is somebody who is in charge of the home or in charge of the affairs, lives out of state. They specifically do not want to come back to have to worry about the house. They respond the most and the fastest. So that's going to be something that you want to take into consideration when looking at the recording office documents as well. So with knowing that, you're going to know who to be sending letters to first and how often should you send those letters. Now, because it sometimes can be a very sensitive time for people if they have lost a loved one, I myself do not write anything about my condolences on these letters. And I know a lot of people will say that's horrible, or you should at least say you're sorry for their loss. But I've also had the experience where people have been very offended in the fact that I don't know their family and I don't know these people, so I shouldn't have an opinion on that. So what I've learned is I will go ahead and just address the situation as a business transaction in itself. So I will address the letter to the heirs or to the personal representative, and I will send something out starting probably about week 2. And again, with that 7-touch system, they need to be hearing from me pretty often. So every other week, and initially those first 2 to 3 letters will be unique to the situation as far as I'm looking for property in your area, or I found that you've recently inherited a home in this area and I'm looking for property. Again, these are the templates that I utilize that you can get at the end of the webinar. These will be things that I send out either in letter form or in postcard form. I will also try to get the phone number information from them so that after each of the 3 unique letters that I send out, I can try giving them a call. And if I can't find information for phone number or for getting directly a hold of them, I will continue to send the letters for a couple of months. Usually you will get a response back that either they have sold the property or they're not interested in selling the property, whatever it may be. But I have had good response with people letting me know kind of where they're at. Just remember that we need to be empathetic in the situation, and especially if it's a piece of property where they have lost a family member, but also that you can help them. And we're, as investors, we are problem solvers. That's what we do. We solve problems. So if we can't do something with the property, then we can find somebody who can. Another way to find these attorneys, in fact, is going to be through a local real estate investing club. You should all be looking at finding a real estate investing club in your area, because this is how you will build your team. And one of those people are going to be these probate attorneys. So with the probate attorney, these people sometimes visit these investment clubs. You can learn from them. You can gain more people for your team, whatever it may be. But this is how your probate property finding is going to be going. Now, like I said, at the end here of our webinar, I was going to give you this gift. This is the link that you're going to want to go to for your webinar gift, for the templates to send to the personal representatives and the heirs. So you'd go to www.dohardmoney.com/webinar-gift/. This is where the templates are that you'll be able to get to send to the personal representatives for the properties themselves. Now, one thing that you might want to know also is that I actually am a real estate coach here with Do Hard Money. And if you are interested in looking for more help or more information, more in-depth, going over deals, I'm your gal. I can help with that. So definitely talk with somebody on the line about working with a coach if that's something that you want to do. But at this point in time, don't forget our weekly webinars are Wednesdays. Say that 10 times fast. Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. So that means 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. Each week will be a different finding strategy. Next week will be our for rent by owners. How is it that you can get for rent by owners properties and for them to sell to you? So have a great week. Hopefully you can take this information and run with it, because I know this is exactly how I did it and have done it for years. Good luck. Thanks so much. Have a great week.